almost distract him with the camera because he was saying that that's already a trigger for him. So that's just a new distraction we can work him through here. So what I'm doing with the obedience and with this, off, sit, down, down. Good job, good boy. What we want to do is teach him what he's supposed to do with the camera. Instead of just letting him react and trying to correct it, I want to remind him to be in a down. I'm going to be on top of him. Sometimes they're going to fail anyways, it happens, but off. I'm going to try to prevent him from getting up to get to it. So off, down. And when he does what he's supposed to do, good job, perfect, that's perfect. Off, good job, good job. So that I can effectively communicate to him that the camera's not a big deal. Off. Good job. Thank you, Pumpkin. Thank you. Good job. Off. Good job. Look. Off. Look. Look. I know. There's a car there. Look. No, it's fine. Down. So what I'm going to do, because he's failed a couple times, I'm going to try to make it easier on him. So sit. Whoa. I'm going to put him at eye level with me. Sit. And that's where patience is a huge key. I don't care if this takes him 10 minutes, but he's going to decide. I'm not going to try to pull him up or force him through it because I actually want him to learn what that means. Whenever you just drag him, and this is a huge thing for distractions, if he's super interested in the wood and I just pull him away from it, from his perspective, I was interested in the wood was no longer in front of me anymore. I didn't learn anything. Versus if I'm interested in the wood, you say off, don't worry about it, and I decide, okay, well, it's not a big deal. I don't need to be interested in it. He's learned something. And that's with everything. So it doesn't matter if it takes you 2 minutes to get him where you need him to be. It's better to do it slowly and help him out than try to just force him. Sit. Sit. He's only got a working time of like half an hour, so we're pushing it well past in some good ways. Good job! Good job! But at the same time, you don't want a dog that only listens to you when they're well fed, well rested, it's sunny outside. You want a dog that listens to you in every circumstance. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's just another distraction with him. Especially with sits and downs because he's defaulting into a down because he's tired. If I tell him to sit, I'm going to make sure that he does. But at the same time, if I know he's going to be in it a while, I'm going to then tell him to down because I'm going to set him up for success by not leaving him there to like, oh, I got to sit, but I really, 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 really want to down. I'm going to try to set him up for success as much as possible. So if you know he's going to default into a down, get him into the sit because that's what you told him to do. Off. Good job. Good boy. Off. Off. Down. Good boy. And it's fine for him to look at stuff. It's about that hyper focus. So it's just like having a significant other. If you're out on a date, you can't expect them to not interact with other humans, but there's definitely an acceptable amount of attention. And when he does the ears forward, down, like I'm ready to like pounce on that thing, you want to make sure that you catch that because that's the start to I'm going to react. And especially when you can do it with little things like the camera or the thing beeping, that's having him practice all of the impulse control and the easy distractions And then when you get to the harder distractions, like another dog or another dog being aggressive towards him, that's tough. He'll have had practice on all these little easy things. Good job. Good boy. So go ahead and call him to you. You don't have to gather in the leash. Give him tons of praise when he gets to you, because we really want that recall to be strong. If he does his job and then you're just like, all right, let's go. It's like not paying your employees like I was talking about earlier. So turn to face him.
Sit. Off.
Start healing him. Start walking. You had a wall, so you couldn't exactly like do a right turn into wood. But you can either put him in a sit or flip around. Or even as we were coming back this way, he started to drift behind you. What you can do is just pick up your pace a little bit till he catches up to you. Always do the opposite, because instead of punishing him for getting out of it, what we want to do is teach him to pay attention. So, and again, when he starts doing the looking up at you while he's healing, really foster that paying attention to you. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this back to you. Remember to keep it in your hand though, because if you put it in your pocket and then he starts doing something wrong, your response time to what's going on,
You just keep your hand in your pocket.
No, that's fine. You can totally do that. I just want to make sure that you're holding on. So say heal and start walking.
Yep.
And when he gets back in and he like looks at you and he's doing really well, make sure to praise him. Whether it's tussle his head, say good job, so I'd say off.
Sit.
Doing it. So right there you want to think about it in motion. You did exactly what you should have done. He started to go for the camera. You used the command that would keep him stationary. So even here, he's acting distracted. I'd be on the butt. I'd remind him to sit.
Off. Gunner, up.
So sit. Come
Sit.
to sit. Button,
Sit.
button, button. You might need to come up. You're gonna get this a lot. He's a gorgeous dog. People are gonna be like, oh my gosh, your dog's so pretty, what is he? And that kind of energy is gonna make him want to break obedience. So rather than wait for him to come all the way out of it, try to prevent it. When you see him start to hyper focus, you could even try to put him in a down, start creating other obedience, start giving him jobs to do. So get him in a down.
Go down. Down. Down.
Step away. Because he's trying to get on top of you to get that comfort. And we want to communicate to him, camera's not a threat. Home Depot's not a threat. You don't need to be on top of me to be safe. You can be away. And that's going to be probably your biggest struggle with him.
Off.
Down. Perfect. I'd go in and love on him for that. Like, you saw him try. Like, he thought about curling up to you. Like, I'm a little nervous about this. I think I want some comfort from Dad. But you said down, and he just settled in where he was. You want to reward him for the little wins like that. Because it's easy to forget, and your dog starts doing really well. It's easy to forget, oh, they never used to heal like that. They never used to do that. But it's so effortless now, you forget to pay them. And then eventually it's like, well, screw you. I'm not going to get anything for behaving. Why would I do it? Versus if I just follow my impulses, I get down. So step back. Don't let them get to you.
Down. Down.
And then you can come in and love on him for it. There's nothing wrong with once he's in a down getting near him. Because in that scenario, you're in charge of when he's getting near. You're a good kid. So I'd remind him. Down.
Down.
Yep.
Down.
So instead of being reactionary, you know that he's coming up closer. You know that's a big distraction for him. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm on top of what's going on. Even here, this is a very active down. This is the I'm a cat and I'm about to pounce down. So if you just keep hitting the button, eventually what'll happen is his little butt will flip to the side as he gets more comfortable. Just keep saying down, hit the button, and see how he actually submitted to being in the down. Before that was like I really don't want to be, so I'm going to be as ready as I can to be out of the down. And then now, because you have this, you have so much more time to react to what he's doing, because it's going to take longer for him to get out of that down. Versus when he's like this, all he has to do is go, whoop, and he's up. Versus this, it gives you a couple more seconds of wiggle room to get him back under control before he's completely failed and tried to go after the camera. So I'd say off, down. See how he disengaged and went back to relaxing. That's the kind of response we want. We're effectively communicating to him that the camera isn't a threat of any kind. Or toy. Or whatever you think it is. So maybe put him into a sit. Start doing things to get his mind off of what's going on. It's just like when you have somebody having an anxiety attack, you want to make them do that to get them out of their head. The longer that I sit there and I stare at the thing I'm afraid of and it's like, oh my gosh, there's a camera, is a threat, like, do I need to go after it? Like, he's working himself up in that process, which is why it makes it so much more likely that he's going to break obedience to go for that. So if you can just cut that in the middle and just have him not have a reaction. When I take my dog to the vet, that's like a huge trigger for him. He's terrified of it. So I will literally
Sit. Sit.
So instead of tugging, just maintain slight tension, button, button, button. Beginning to come up, button, button, up, come up, button, button, up, come up, button, button, button. Now I will come down, like 4 levels. Get close to you. So you're going to walk him past the camera. You know that's going to be a big deal. I tell him off before you get there, and then I'd be on the button the whole time. Button, button. Good hand. There. Good job. I'm gonna sit.
Sit.
Good job. Give him lots of love for that. That's the closest he's been to the camera. And he listened to you completely, without hesitation. Straight into a sit. So with this, you want to think about the 3 Ds, distance, duration, and distraction. This place probably isn't that distracting for him at this point, because he's been here now. But that's the farthest he's been from you, distance-wise. So you're probably not going to want to do the longest duration ever. So go ahead and come back in and love on him. Make sure he doesn't come out of the down though. Good job. Go ahead and remind him that he's supposed to be in a down and then take a couple steps back. Go ahead and turn your back from him. Come back in and give him a ton of love for that.
He's so tired.
Let's seal him back to the car, because that's about as much as
Sit. Sit.
Yeah.
Off. Get into it.